So just some more retrospective analysis, and there's so much to cover, but I'll try to do it under 10 minutes. So that, and I want to do this like in a TikTok style where I actually impose my, face and hands over the parts that the images basically that I want to reference, but TikTok bans me just like everyone else bans me for telling the truth, right? Another truth I figured out in a world where everyone is lying and against the truth is the ancestry DNA shows that I have 30% DNA from Native Americans that I get from my dad. So while I'm here in New Mexico, part of me wants to reach out to the Tiwa Pueblo and try to figure out who my real grandfather is. That's another truth that I figured out where everyone is lying to me and pretending that my Grandpa Tony was my father's father. Anyhow. And that was a curious thing. I wanted to rush to download these videos from my phone to my laptop and upload them to my Twitter and my Facebook. I've been doing that for years and it's never changed anything. The only result it's produced is I get punished for telling the truth. Which is curious because the very same people who would feign moral superiority online are the people that punish me for telling the truth. And then they try to shame me for being deceptive and manipulative. Arguably, these people shaped my behavior to be deceptive and manipulative. And that includes Liberty University and the Liberty University Police Department. The only reason they went after me is for telling the truth, for figuring out the truth that they are implementing globalist agendas and are compromising Christian values for federal funding, etc. So it's very hypocritical and one-sided, to put it mildly. Anyhow, so yesterday, that white liberal who doesn't look very Jewish at all, I'm pretty gonna just make a guess here, he's 100% white. I'm going to call him the arch villain named the Diversifier. The Diversifier. wait, yeah, no. The Diversifier. And he is environmentally inducing homosexuality. So I'm not sure I got to go back to UNM if the police don't arrest me for posting these offensive tweets. And I gotta check if the same girl in the photograph is the one whose name is on that, photography exhibit. Which is really shit art. It's just people smoking marijuana. And one girl in the role of her father is a mechanic. That's it. That's very low effort and low IQ. I don't even know why they're presenting this as anything worth celebration and achievement. It's shit. Anyway. But it also does show how this white liberal is environmentally inducing homosexuality. It's cannabis and pornography, things like that. These are tools that these white liberals are using to reshape societies, demographic shifts, etc. So he's not only environmentally inducing homosexuality in the Hispanic population here, but in his own white population, because there was 3 trannies who were white who went to his little CEO's meeting there on the 3rd floor of the student union. And a black guy and a Mexican woman, so he's trying to black our Mexican women. Why are white liberals like this? Jews are like this too, but this is not a Jew, this is a white guy. And then I saw a couple videos about how my people are dying. Our unique culture in New Mexico and Colorado, the Castilian Spanish, the Spaniards that have been here for hundreds of years and mixed with the natives and stuff like that, right? We are dying out. Our language is being lost, etc. So it is a genocide. And it's hilarious because my mom tells me, you got to be careful of what you post on the internet. So this white liberal who's genociding mi gente, right, my people, my culture, my heritage, is the one who gets to dictate what hate speech is. This is the arbiter of morality, the dictator of what is and isn't morally acceptable. This guy is way worse than anything he's judging. If anything, it's all about phrasing. He's just reframing my resistance to my own destruction and the destruction of my people, my culture, and my heritage as racism and bigotry and phobias and hate speech. It's self-preservation. It's very weaponized, very psychologically manipulative, these strategies and tactics they're using. And I can't infer motive. Just because it's not incompetence doesn't necessarily mean it's malice or hostility. Does he hate Mexicans? Maybe, maybe not. Does he hate the Spanish, conquistador families? Probably is an anti-white, but maybe not. So I can't infer malice as a motive just based on the results, because it does have a harmful impact on my culture, my people, and my heritage. It could just be greed, which is not inherently malicious, but does have malicious impacts, right? Anyway, so then going to the Muslim church, the masjid, the mosque yesterday, I walked on my amputated feet through the university neighborhood from Central to the Islamic Center of New Mexico, and past so many homeless junkies because of marijuana, and so many cannabis stores. So the increase of cannabis stores increased the homeless, junkie weed zombies. Cause and effect. So despite all that, I just wanted the Muslims to help me with my toe spacers and switching out my watch battery. That would be easier with two hands, and I don't have the carving tools. But I did post a video just to my BitChute saying maybe my uncle would buy me a new watch, and then my cousin and my uncle both told me how they don't get that much money and stuff, and da-da-da-da-da. And so I think it's possible that they are spying on my BitChute videos, lurking or whatever, And so I didn't get just that simple help from the Muslims. It was crazy. That's all I wanted was some fucking, wood carving skills, or at least help getting me good pieces of wood so I can carve out my toe spacers out of wood, so I no longer have to purchase them online, since they're no longer available to purchase online. That's a non-narcotic pain management alternative that not only helps me manage pain without drugs, but makes it so I could walk to get a job and, etc. Why wouldn't the Muslims want to support that? But they definitely were pro-immigration. So they're angry about some sort of new bullshit political pageantry immigration scam with Trump, which really probably means there's just going to be more immigration. It's all full of shit. But I found that weird because since it's officially being acknowledged that my people are being genocided through this demographic shift and reduction and replacement, immigration is bad for us. It's bad for me. All these immigrants with both of their hands and all their feet are taking time and resources away from authentically disabled people like myself. So we're getting fucked by immigration. Immigration is bad for us Native Americans. So why aren't the Muslims anti-marijuana or doing anything to help us, the host nation? Instead, they're only helping themselves in their own interests. A lot of Muslims sell marijuana, and at least in Roanoke, own the tobacco store that sells weed. So how is that very halal, right? So once again, the Muslims, just like the Jews and the Christians, they're all human, and human nature is human nature. You'd think they would be doing something about that white liberal, the diversifier, because the tools that is using to diversify the population are haram, right? Using marijuana and pornography and stuff like that. And there's differential susceptibility, right? Larger dopamine receptors and more dopamine receptors. But that Hispanic girl on the photo was white Spanish, not brown Mexican. And the trannies were also white. So clearly being white doesn't make whitey immune to his own propaganda and manipulation and tricks and environmentally induced homosexuality. This means that whites also have larger dopamine receptors and more dopamine receptors, and therefore variance within the ethnicity that is differential susceptibility to a set of influences within the environment, such as electronic devices, cannabis, etc.